So can you see the difference it makes? It goes from a darker green to a lighter green. So darker regular woodland fairy created this gorgeous concoction, and then while that was still wet, did a blend, and here's where we are. So you can play with that as much as you want. I'm happy with where it is right now, and I want to move on because I want to get my project done, and I got plans and they're multiplying. This box is cool. It has the flap that comes open. The front's got a little latch here to open down. I think I'm going to use it and keep it as a really cool display on a table, just like this, for the front of my store, so I can put some cool stuff on it. And I have these beautiful owl transfers. If you've been on my website lately, junkmonkeypaint.com, you will see that I have 5 sets of these left available. I bought one for myself to do a cool project with because, you know, I love owls, and I got a few extra as well. So I think this is the perfect size like project to bring in some owls and do that really cool. So it's drying right now. I've started sanding, so it's gonna look really muted out. The moment we seal, of course, everything pops. There is gonna definitely be some decorative waxes on the edge on all these really cool pieces, and then some owls. So now I really love the idea of this owl here on the branch, and he's got red orange, which red and orange and then the green will go gorgeous together. So I love that one. I'm also in love with this guy right here. I don't know what kind of owl is this owl? Does anybody know? I forget. Beautiful though. I think owls are just so gorgeous. And then of course it's got all these decorative stamps on it. So it's gonna be a magical box, a magical trunk of sorts. So I'm just gonna grab a sand block. But here is where we get to distress, get any brush hairs off the piece, make sure everything is laying nice and flush. And also, like, this is a little bit wet right here. I'm gonna do a wet distress. A wet distress creates some really cool looks. So there's the usual sand pad when you sand, but when you do a wet distress, it kind of like rips the paint and gives you some different character marks. So I love that. So this is why I'm choosing to go in and do this when it's not quite fully dry. So let me work my way around here so you guys don't have to listen to the sanding, and I'll be back in just a second and we'll continue with the next step. Okay, I spared you from all of that sandy noise. See, what a nice person I am, you know? I just think of you guys. Like I said, was it yesterday we were talking about this? I don't mind the sound of sanding, but I do think of you guys. It's not relaxing to watch sanding, I don't think. It's much more preferable to get to the fun part, the funness, where you get to add the waxes and do the seal and all that stuff. So I had to ask, when you guys watch me, are you in bed at night? Are you on the go? Are you listening to me while you're driving right now? Are you eating right now? Having supper? Am I joining you as you eat? If so, tell me what you're eating. Speaking of yumminess, let's get to the next part here. So when you do a sand, there's something stuck on this guy. When you do a sand, that's a nice way to, you know, put your light coats of your paint on and then do a sand. It lets everything sit nice and flush. If you're somebody who's like, my gosh, I like build up so much texture. Well, how much paint are you putting down? Do a light coat, sand in between your next coat. Everything just really sits nice and tight and flush. You can build texture if you want by doing maybe short brush strokes, brushing against, you know, putting brush strokes on in one direction, the next time a different direction. Instead of doing long and lean, maybe you do short strokes to really build it up. But if you're somebody that just likes a nice, you know, just a nice tight project where you paint and it lays right on your piece, the key is light coats, sand in between, and if you need to thin out your paint, you can add a little bit of water as well to the Junk Monkey paint. So makes it, you know, just do that. So I've got a nice light coat on here. All right, so what shall we do next? I do want to add some owls. So I've dusted with an extra brush, I feel an owl coming up right about right here, right now, up in this area. So obviously you would want your transfer to make sure it sticks to your project and not to some sand dust. So this is why we want to make sure it's good and dried and ready. And let me think about which owl I want here. I love that guy. I love that guy. I love him up there maybe. But I'm really in love with this guy. Don't tell my husband. And how much do we want of this? I might just cut this whole thing off. Do that, all that right there. Let me see if I love that. So this little guy here, I am going to cut and keep him for something else. And this guy, size it up. It's funny, this transfer's got the 9 3/4 right here. So there's a little, I'm sure a little Harry Potter nod right there. So do I want to keep this whole thing? Do I want to take these numbers out? What do I want to do? Although I kind of like that idea of just even having, let me do my little squinty with my eye. Do you guys do that where you do the squint with your eye to be like, am I gonna like this? I think I will. So remember right now I'm seeing lots of like the white area in the background, but the true transfer, look, I'm a maniac, is going to be see-through. So, you know, with the color of this, with this right here, I don't feel like it's going to be too much. It's just kind of going to be blending in. So, let's see here, Mr. Owl. Where do we want to put him? Do the eye squint. I think about right here, I like that. All right, so with the transfers, of course, you get the little stick. Let me find the little stick that I'm always either breaking or missing. It looks like just a regular stick. And yeah. All right, let me see what I do with my stick. It looks like a tongue depressor, except it's got like a square edge to it. All right, let me see. Maybe I'll just use this paint stir stick. And you can use whatever you want. So I have a really nice transfer tool that I need to bring in. I have some really nice ones on my website. They're nice and wide. They look like a paint scraper. They're awesome. And the same company that makes the transfers makes them, so it's like an upgrade. You get the stick with each one, and it works, but it's like the luxury tool. Okay, and then there we go. I think that worked quite nice. Oh, cutie patootie. You know, I used to have a stamp collection growing up. It's probably in the attic. My mother, I swear, she's like kept so much of my stuff that I just, you know, that got left at home. And I'm so thankful because I can say like, Mom, do you remember this purse? I used to have this really cool leathery fringy purse. I'm saying this because this is real life and this was the last thing I asked her about. She's like, oh yeah, I have those in the attic. Funny story about our attic. I'm sure if anybody would ever break in, they'd be like, what the heck? So there was a time where I went to the stadium in the small town that I'm from, and I did one of those, and by the way, I was only like, I'm gonna say maybe 15 years old or something. And so I went there and I did the pull apart tickets where like if you get the 3 numbers and they match, you win this size toy, this size toy. Well, the big prize was this giant white bear that looked like he had a prison suit on, stripes, and the hat and everything. And it was called Prisoner of Your Love, Prisoner of Love. And it was like a love bear, okay? It was this big giant bear. It was absolutely gorgeous. And I kid you not, I pulled the right tickets and got the winning numbers. And yeah, you could, I'm sure Mom could see me in the front window coming home with it because it was at the stadium and we live close near what we call a stadium back in Canada. Oh my gosh, you guys, I love that so much. And so this bear was bigger than me. Like this bear, it's probably like on this door. You can see this door. It was like, it sits down so you could sit in front of it if you wanted to. But I mean, it was like sitting on the floor, probably its head up to here, I would imagine. So I'm coming home with this giant bear. What do you do with a bear like that, right? So I moved out and Mom has it up. So it sits in our attic. So in our attic in our house, there is a Prisoner of Love bear. Look at this guy. So sweet. I'm so glad that I took the markings, like the stamps and stuff around him as well. I think it goes so nice. So yeah, loving that. And I was saying I'm really happy that I kept the postage stamp stuff around it. I think it's faded enough that it looks really good there. In fact, if I really wanted to, I could cut off a few more pieces and put anywhere else or build it out. But I do love stamps. I did collect stamps. I was one of those people that had pen pals growing up. Remember the days where you would, you could post your address into a magazine and you could find friends. I mean, in today's age, would we ever publish publicly in a magazine our address? Probably not. But, those were the days we would send each other money and stuff. Okay, so I'm gonna go with this guy right here. I just want him on this piece. Yeah, those were the days of when you have all your markers and you put rainbows and you draw stuff on the outside of your envelopes that you would send. It was happy mail because I would put stickers all over it. It was fun to collect stationery. I had just a box full of different stationery pads. And then when I would get mail back from them, and I have pen pals all over the world that I would keep their, keep the stamps and stuff. So that was so cool. And then I was into a phase where I collected pennies. I remember that phase too. All right, so we got that little guy up there. I do love that back and forth. Might need to put a little bit of, I might put some of this stuff on here actually. I mean, I could go all owls. Owls all the time. Or I could put them on either side. But I'm thinking that maybe right now I might take some of this. So I kind of have this guy here, this guy up here, and maybe I'll put a bunch of the air mark, the coastal marks, and build it up. this corner out a little bit. So again, I'm gonna go from corner to corner. So I'm going to make this guy feel, this transfer feel a little bigger by probably putting this down here, the stamp mark. These are all done distress style as well. So I do love that. You see how it looks like it's kind of broken up? All right, that's fun. I feel like I need maybe something else right here. So again, I am going to take a little bit of this section. You know what I think would be really cool with these owls is if and when, I say when because you know me, I love my candlesticks, candlestick holders. Finding two and then doing the wraparound of the owls on them, I think that'd be really cool. And I do the whimsical because in my store we all love whimsical here. So I know owls would go over really well. All right, another little piece. Let me just find a corner to put these on. Maybe like right up here. And don't forget to keep your other extra seed of owls for your next project. But yeah, if I could find some really cool candle holders, I would wrap an owl, paint them white, distress them, whatever color you want to do, gray, you name it. And just put this, because they curve around and stuff, you could put them on. Anyway, that's what I'm holding onto, is to do that, something like that. I will find the right project, so we gotta keep these. All right, friends, I'm back. I was manning the front of the shop for a little bit, and I got kind of taken away with the front of the house. So at least today, looking at the time today, I want to get my edging on here. I'll let that dry, and then tomorrow we'll put the seal on. So when we do the seal, this is going to pop back to life absolutely amazingly, gorgeously. Is that even a word? Don't know. We just make things up. So yeah, let's go ahead. I think I'm going to do, this is close by. You know how I said yellow earlier on, saying that if I could bring some yellow in here, or was it on my Facebook Live? I was saying, oh yeah, I really would. So this is close by. I'm gonna go ahead, grab this and start this process. And then tomorrow we'll seal, because that's fun in itself. So get a bunch of the aged brass out, do a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Oh, that's pretty. I love putting this on. This is when it really starts to come to life. Now this piece over here is a big, like, cool piece of architecture. You know, it's got this whole wooden thing on the side of it here. Let's go ahead and play that up a little bit. All right, friends, I think we're gonna leave it at that. I'm gonna go ahead, get this video up, this video portion up for you guys today on my YouTube channel, and then tomorrow check back because we'll finish it off and she'll be done. And I cannot wait to show you how this all really, really pops and comes together. So it's been a hoot hanging out with you, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.